Up next, it's a skill to make people feel comfortable around you. Our next guest has some tips. Have you ever met someone that makes you feel good about yourself every time you see them? That's called having an effective presence, and our next guest is joining us to share how we too can develop this skill. Eric Rittmeyer, author and former U.S. Marine, is joining us to share more about how to develop this presence. Eric, so how can someone get another person to feel this way when they're talking to them?
Yeah, it's so simple, and that's the crazy thing about just likability and having people that are attracted to you. It's so simple to do, just nobody puts the effort into it. And effective presence is just the ability for someone, whenever you walk into a room, you meet them, you're kind of drawn to them. They kind of have the it factor. So it's really all about just making it, whoever you're talking with, making it all about them, making them feel important, making them feel like, you're really into them, just giving them undivided attention. Not a lot of people do that, unfortunately.
So you mentioned showing sincere interest. What does that mean, and how can someone come across as truly sincere without seeming like they're trying too hard?
Yeah, that's the key. That's the secret, right? Because you come across, and if you lack sincerity or authenticity, it's not going to come across very well, especially if they get the vibe like you're trying to get something from them. So it's really just all about finding common ground with them. I use an acronym called FROM. It's family, recreation, occupation, and motivation. And when you talk with people, meet with people, it's really trying to find something that you have in common with them so it can open up conversation. But there does need to be a sincere want to really get to know more about them. If you're not going to be totally sincere, don't even try, because you're going to wreck that relationship in like 2 seconds flat.
Exactly. People will think you're not genuine. So how important is it to make someone recognize their strength? How does that make them feel better after meeting them?
When it comes to strengths, that's so funny, Samantha. It's like I have friends who are mechanics, right? And I'd be like, how'd you do that? Like, how'd you fix that? Like, oh, it's simple. I took this off, took that off, put that back together. I'm like, it's simple for you because you do it and you're awesome at it. So a lot of people who have these strengths, whatever it is, a lot of times they're not even aware of it. When you're meeting somebody, when you're talking with somebody, when you're trying to establish a connection, let them emphasize that. I mean, like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, how'd you do that? That's insane. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, I can hardly change a light bulb. So it's harping on their strengths. A lot of times people are very modest and they don't want to come across like they're trying to brag about something, but make it about them. Make them feel good.
So then this kind of ties in with your book, The Emotional Marine. Where can people learn more about that book and you as well?
Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that. And my website's best. It's mentaltoughnessspeaker.com. My book's also on Amazon. All my information's on there. I do a lot of these types of shows, and it's all about spreading love. It's all about the Lion King, Hakuna Matata. No worries. We have to get back to loving each other again. We have a difficult time with that right now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric. We'll be right back.
Have you heard the news?